brief before you, if you have your word. Matthew, the 27th chapter, verse 46. That fourth word that was said at Calvary, why hast thou forsaken me? Why hast thou forsaken me? I just did a subtitle of A Tug of War. A tug of war. Beaten to the pulp, bruised until the skin changes color, bloody with a stench, unrecognizable with still a fingerprint, chest pains without an x-ray, headaches beyond an aspirin or a Tylenol, and the weight of the cross becomes the bricks of a dying world. Can you imagine the pain and the horrific suffering Jesus went through? As you heard from previous, there was a process to the madness. Matthew, the 27th chapter, verse 46. And it says, about 3 p.m, Jesus cried out, reading from the New International Version, cried out, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? Pause and reflect on the cross that you may be carrying today. Jesus carried the world and our sin. Look around and see that the world is in trouble. Unnecessary war and major job losses, bloodshed in our streets, and mental instability. The face of racism, high gas prices, and the uncertainty of what we call tomorrow. Why hast thou forsaken me? Do you remember the game called A Tug of War? A game called The Tug of War. We had a family event last night, and we played that tug of war. And it was funny watching everybody see and choose who would be on their side for tug of war. I believe Calvary could have been a tug of war. For those who have never played that, there's a rope that's in the center between two teams, one on each side. And it's your goal to pull the other team down. And whenever you play this game, it's important to see what foundation you have or who is on your team. At the end, you'll either be standing or landing in a disaster. In this moment of pressure, pain, and suffering, Jesus had to reflect beyond the silence and pull through the muscle memory of his assignment. Look at somebody and say, pull through. Psalms 37, verse 25 says, I have been young and now I am old. Yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed or descendants begging for bread. In this time of your life, you may be at the defining moment to pull yourself through, to pull beyond the noise and to pull beyond the chatter of Roman soldiers below, to pull beyond those that say Hosanna one week and crucify him the next, to pull beyond uncertainty of our government and pull beyond the dark clouds that's lingering over your head. Why hast thou forsaken me? Let us go back to a few scriptures ago in Matthew 26, verse 39. It says, he went a little farther and fell on his face and prayed saying, oh, my Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will. Sometimes you just have to realize it's out of my control. It's out of my control because I'm on divine assignment. He will prepare you for the journey. In the Garden of Gethsemane, we know that this was the preparation moment. The preparation moment of praying and fasting. But look at the prophetic in it as his sweat became blood. Remember in school, there was no talking during a test. You could raise your hand, you could ask a question, but you have to realize you have everything that you need to pass the test. How do I stand? Matthew 16, verse 23 through 26 says it. But he turned to Peter and said, Get behind me, Satan. You are an offense to me, for you are not mindful of the things of God, but the things of men. Then Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone desires to come after me, he must lie down and deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. For what profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? I know it feels like pure abandonment. I know you've been weighed down and it feels like there's just not any more strength. I know you heard the prophecies over your life and left with questions of uncertainty. I come to remind you that you are chosen for this. He sees your tears and he hears your cries of desperation. The mission still must be accomplished. Every word that's been spoken over you will not be left undone. Stay in the race, for it's a bloody sacrifice. When we look at Moses, we could understand that he could have been in a place of, why hast thou forsaken me? Those that he was leading out of Israel, complaining and frustrated because there's no food, there's no water to drink, there's no resources for us to maintain. Why hast thou forsaken me? Who else can we look at? We could look at Hannah and understand that she was desperate to give birth. Desperate to give birth to what God has promised. And as she came to the temple and she prayed, they criticized her and thought that she was drunk. The own priest of the house thought she was crazy. But I understand that promise still lies. For those that we follow on Facebook, we announced today our promise is getting ready to happen. And I'll put the plug in, Bishop, that October we shall give birth. Pull yourself through this tug of war. Pull yourself beyond the noise. You have the right to lay hands on yourself and embrace the call on yourself. Father, why hast thou forsaken me? But today I'm urging you to prepare yourselves after the things of God. Pull for him, pull to worship, pull to pray, pull to intercede, pull your brothers and your sisters in the kingdom, pull to see your family saved, pull to do kingdom business, pull to see the Great Commission, pull beyond the bloodline curses, pull to cancel out the enemy, pull beyond the tactics, pull beyond so that you will please God, pull to seek God, pull to live, pull to rise. What kind of man is this that he will lay down his life for me? What kind of man is this that they hung high and they stretched him wide? What kind of man is this? One who we call King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He has everything we need. Look at somebody and say, come on, let's play tug of war.